Terence Crawford has joined the list of pros sparring with GervontaDavis ahead of the Jake Paul fight. Although he's already dismissed the matchup, Crawford says he has experience dealing with bigger punchers from lower weight classes, which is exactly what Davis needs. This comes amid reports suggesting that Gervonta might actually step out of the fight. Here's the latest update.
5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox.
He's naturally a southpaw, but is now training to fight orthodox. Terence Crawford, coming off a win against Canelo Alvarez, admitted that things would be very different for GervontaDavis. In an interview before joining Davis's camp, Crawford made it clear that Tank wouldn't stand a chance against Jake Paul, citing the huge weight difference as the deciding factor.
What's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder? I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't going to be able to get in from that jab. Jake laying one good punch on.
With Crawford now joining Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford, he's helping Tank Davis learn how to handle a bigger opponent. Crawford believes that if Tank can dodge Jake's punches, the fight could go in his favor, but that's a big if. Tank is fast and smart, but Jake will be throwing heavy power shots, and one clean hit could change everything. Crawford is focusing on teaching Tank his approach, footwork, defense, and tips for managing Jake's size and power. Even with this guidance, the fight remains a delicate balance. The situation took a major turn a few days ago when a civil lawsuit was filed against Davis, putting the exhibition's future in serious doubt.
It's kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, I talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December.
Jake Paul's promotion, MVP, quickly released a statement saying they're reviewing the situation and will decide next steps after consulting the right people. Since then, it's been all speculation. Will the fight be postponed, or will someone else step in to face Jake?
And put this fight in serious peril. So much so that reports have been saying that, hey, Jake Paul's team have already started contacting fighters about being a replacement, whether it be for this November 14th date or maybe a date in December. And the 5 names they already contacted are some of the biggest names in the sport.
Insiders say the fight isn't completely off, but it's far from certain. Chris Mannix reported that the date could be pushed from November 14th to sometime in December. Shortly after, Mike Kopinger from Ring Magazine confirmed that December 12th and 19th were both being considered as possible new dates. What really grabbed attention, however, was the question of who could replace Davis if he can't fight.
You guys can look into it. I didn't, you know me, I don't really speak about stuff outside the ring, but now I have to since it affects the ring, okay, and what happens in the ring. The fight may be canceled. It's a civil suit from my understanding, and I don't want to, confuse you guys or give you a misinformation.
According to reports, both Ryan Garcia and Terence Crawford have already been approached, which would completely shake up the promotion. Garcia brings speed and massive social media appeal, while Crawford adds legacy and credibility. They're not the only options. Kopinger also mentioned Francis Ngannou and Nate Diaz are being considered. It's a wild lineup that shows Jake Paul's team is exploring every possible option.
We know it's early. Less than 2 weeks, no fighter is going to take that. There will be no fight if it isn't Tank Davis on November 14th. As this moment, there has been no cancellation, but it seemingly is in the direction of Tank Davis not fighting Jake Paul on the 14th. So no fighter, legitimate fighter, is going to step in on 2 weeks' notice.
Garcia has been without solid fight options since losing to Rolando Romero by unanimous decision in May. He's been splitting time between boxing and other ventures, but hasn't signed on for another bout, making him available, at least on paper. Crawford, on the other hand, is coming off his big win over Canelo Alvarez earlier this year. He hinted at retirement afterward, but nothing is set in stone, and knowing his competitive nature, he might be open to one more payday.
Oscar, bro. Your daddy. Yeah. You're not a professional fighter. I'm the king of social media. That's great, but you're not a fighter. I'm the king of social media. Don't get your hands on me. You're trying to do what I did. Let's go. Pull it up in your little rental. What's your shit? Pull it up in your little rental, bro.
Ngannou's name fits too, as he's been in that crossover space between boxing and MMA, chasing another big fight after facing Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. A Jake Paul matchup on Netflix would be huge from a business perspective. Nate Diaz is also in the mix. He already fought Paul in 2023 and lost by decision, but the fight sold well and fans have been calling for a rematch. With all the chaos surrounding Davis, Diaz could easily re-enter the conversation.
If somebody got small, I don't want to, I want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said his boxing is turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE. So
right.
At least that's that.
It looks like one name on that list is already being crossed out: Ryan Garcia. Oscar de la Hoya, head of Golden Boy Promotions, quickly shut down the idea, saying he's been getting non-stop calls from reporters about the Jake Paul versus Garcia rumor. He made it clear the fight isn't happening, not because of interest or money, but because of platform issues.
Is this really the case? It has been reported by a couple of online periodicals, and if this is the case, then it says something about influencer, crossover, and exhibition boxing. Because the reports are that the Jake Paul and GervontaDavis fight is light by 6,000 tickets.
De La Hoya explained that Ryan Garcia is under contract with Golden Boy, fighting exclusively on DAZN, while Jake Paul is signed with Netflix. Since these are separate streaming platforms with no shared rights, the matchup can't happen unless both sides break their deals, which won't happen. Ryan fights for DAZN, and Jake fights on Netflix. That's the bottom line, De La Hoya said, adding that Golden Boy's agreement with DAZN is binding with no shortcuts around it.
Fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules.
Exhibition, but still, Tank versus Jake Paul.
I thought she was going to say Tyson versus Floyd. Damn, she went even lower. I don't like it. I just want them to come out healthy. The reason why I don't like it is because anything could happen. And if anything happens and all of a sudden Tank got to retire because of some kind of weird shoulder injury trying to punch him, anything could happen. And I would just prefer.
At this point, Jake Paul can't seem to catch a break with his opponent lineup. Earlier this year, he aimed for a huge fight with Canelo Alvarez, but Turki Alshik signed Canelo to a 4-fight deal before it could happen. Paul then pivoted and secured the exhibition with GervontaDavis, a matchup that had everyone talking for being different, risky, and entertaining. Now, even that plan is in doubt.
Check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, it's gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens, you know?
The crazy part is that this fight felt like it was breaking new ground for boxing. Netflix entering the live combat space, AI judges scoring the match, and two huge names from completely different worlds facing off in the ring. It was shaping up to be one of the most talked about events of the year, with even casual fans planning to watch out of curiosity. Now it's a waiting game. MVP's official statement hasn't called the fight off. They're reviewing everything and won't comment until a final decision is made.
MVP has decided to move the Tank Davis and Jake Paul fight out of the state of Georgia, and I think it's directly reflected on those comments, or directly due to, I should say, the comments made by that commissioner of the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission.
Talks are ongoing, and there's clearly a lot at stake for Netflix as well. They've invested heavily in the event's production and promotion and won't want to lose momentum, especially given the attention Jake Paul brings to any card. On the practical side, rescheduling affects venue logistics, travel, sponsor deals, and broadcast coordination. Moving the fight from mid-November to mid-December might seem minor, but it changes everything from a business perspective. Everyone is trying to figure out how to make it work without losing the hype that's been building for months.
Like the influencer world would be the most lucrative thing for my career, and I think I was the only one who like actually wanted to do it and actually wanted to go all the way, and that's why I set the goal for myself early to become a world champion, set the bar extremely high, and to just...
Coming from the influencer world, Jake Paul saw this as the most lucrative move for his career and set a high goal early to become a world champion. Meanwhile, he's training as if the fight is still on, posting gym clips, working on new combinations, and staying focused, no matter who the opponent is or when the date might be. His brand thrives on staying active regardless of setbacks. For now, the fight remains uncertain. It's not canceled, but not fully confirmed either. Netflix hasn't provided updates, MVP hasn't announced next steps, and Davis hasn't spoken publicly. The boxing world is on standby, waiting to see if Jake Paul will face Tank, Crawford, Ngannou, or Diaz before the year ends.
Oh, not gonna lie, you really got knocked out. Yeah, I really got knocked out. Watch the fight, you idiot. Went 12 rounds. Like, you're weird, bro. Bro didn't even knock me out or even throw punches. That's sad, bro. Just know, bro, I'm coming back. It's gonna be vicious. Like, you guys don't want to see that. You guys are weird trying to troll me over a fight I didn't even care about.
Even with Tank giving his all in camp, the conversation around the Jake Paul fight keeps shifting daily. When Eddie Hearn mentioned the idea of Anthony Joshua stepping in for GervontaDavis, Joshua's response was just 5 words: just let me know where. No hesitation, no long speech, pure readiness. But Hearn clarified it's not that simple. So far, it's only casual conversation, nothing close to a formal offer or contract. Even if both sides wanted it, many things would need to align perfectly for it to happen.
The retort would be there's such a big weight discrepancy there, right? That's what some people...
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Tank probably sparred like heavyweights or light heavyweights and things like that.
Damn,
so
really?
It's probably nothing that he never seen before. I'm pretty sure Jake never fought nobody that little.
No, it's good. So that's the fascinating part about it.
I feel like it's more like so harder for Jake to fight a smaller guy like that.
For now, Joshua isn't expected to fight again this year, regardless of how the GervontaDavis situation unfolds. When Chris Mannix showed Hearn Matchroom's remaining schedule, November 15th in London, December 13th in Stockton, and December 27th in Riyadh, Hearn confirmed Joshua would appear on one of those dates. The London card already features Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, so that's unlikely. The Stockton or Riyadh dates make more sense, especially Riyadh, which has basically become Joshua's second home. Hearn also said Joshua won't face anyone in the top 20. This next fight is meant as a tune-up to shake off rust and get sharp again before taking bigger risks in 2026.
Genius, but when it comes to people that picking his fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10-ounce, well, I'm told it's 16-ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition.
Right.
I'm told it's big gloves and head guards.
The long-term plan hasn't changed. Eventually, Joshua aims to roll the dice against Tyson Fury. Hearn mentioned they're already in talks with Turki Alshik and the Riyadh team about that potential mega fight. Fury is retired for now, but Hearn made it clear he'll be approached separately for his own deal. If Fury sticks to retirement, a backup could be another Daniel Dubois rematch. For now, the situation remains complicated.
Boxing Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Oh, hell yeah. You gotta give Jake Paul his flowers. Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz.
Jake Paul is a disruptor, and he's done a phenomenal job at that. You get big and famous enough to where...
While the heavyweight shuffle unfolds, Devin Haney weighed in on GervontaDavis's exhibition with Jake Paul. On the Ariel Helwani show, Haney gave a straightforward take, saying, "Yeah, it's an exhibition fight. That's his business at the end of the day." He didn't hype it up or throw shade. just noted that there's more money and exposure in facing Jake Paul than in a rematch with Lamont Roach.
Jake Paul, Tank, how you see that fight going?
Man, that's not a real fight. I like Jake.
Is Tank?
It's not a real fight.
It's not a fight. Does Tank have a chance? He's so much smaller. He's a real boxer, but he's so much smaller.
Haney acknowledged that while Jake Paul has size and some skill, Tank's experience makes all the difference. Fans still want a rematch with Lamont Roach, but that will likely happen later. Jake is a decent boxer, big, skilled, and hardworking, but Tank, though smaller, has been boxing since he was a kid. Should Tank win? Yes, but Haney admitted he's unsure about the specific rules or details of the fight against Jake Paul.
Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
It's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
That's what's fueling all the curiosity about how the rules will actually play out. On paper, it's 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 12-ounce gloves, and AI-assisted judging, but it's not a professional fight. The mix of the size difference and exhibition format has the boxing world buzzing, and even Jake Paul is starting to feel the pressure.
Only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake.
The Jake Paul versus GervontaDavis fight scheduled for November 14th is off. Jake Paul's team has now reached out to Anthony Joshua, Floyd Mayweather, Ryan Garcia, and Edgar Berlanga as potential replacements.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis November the 14th fight is off. The Jake Paul team have now reached out to Anthony Joshua, Floyd Mayweather, Ryan Garcia, and Edgar Berlanga to replace Tank Davis, who is...
It's a curious mix of fear and confidence. Jake admits he's cautious, but still claims he'll win by knockout. That's his formula. Acknowledge the risk to heighten the reward. He knows viewers are drawn in, hoping to witness either a shocking upset or a reality check.
Hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
Meanwhile, veteran trainer Teddy Atlas weighed in on how the fight could unfold. He said that even though Davis is much smaller, he still holds the advantage in skill and technique. He might need a ladder to do it, but Tank hits him on the chin. Don't overlook it, Atlas said on his YouTube channel. He added that while Tank is at his best at 135 pounds, if he lands a clean punch with good technique, he could absolutely knock out a much bigger opponent.
And Tank as well coming up. Now that's the whole bit of a debate on because of the weight difference. I mean that's the case with Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather as well. Yes. The best boxers right now. I think that fight there, because of Tank's skill level, it's like it makes it fair even though he's not. The weight difference is crazy.
Atlas emphasized that boxing isn't just about size or strength. It's about precision and timing. Anyone can knock out anyone if they hit them right, he said. But in his view, it's not just about power. It's about technique, expertise, and the delivery to make it count. That sums up what most experienced trainers believe. Jake's power is real, but Tank's precision could be the deciding factor. If Davis lands cleanly, the size difference might not save Jake. Sparring with Crawford could give Tank an edge, sharpening his skills and strategy before facing a bigger opponent.